Not really sure how to ask this question, but we'll just see how it comes out.
Go for it.
But moving to a new city, right, a bigger city, where there's lots of opportunity, both for dating, for friends, for fun, even for work, right, networking work. Wondering if you could share, some ideas, maybe even some systems, maybe even some ways to kind of like stay accountable to taking as much action as possible.
Yes.
And
I love these questions. The question is, when you go to a new city and you've got these new opportunities, how can you capitalize on them, right? How can I meet as many people as possible and do so many things? One of the first things that I love is when somebody goes to a city, they never tend to do the touristy things. No one tends to bother trying out all the local stuff that tourists do when they come to town, right? You move to a city, this is a great city, I'm totally gonna do this cool activity, and then you never do it. So what I love to do is when I go to a new city, I will make a list of things that I want to do in the city that normally only tourists do. Good example is we're in Austin, we've got duck tours, which is the amphibious bus that goes in and out of the lakes. People see it all the time and never do it. But
I did it, it's boring.
oh no.
So, no, it's great.
Duck tour.
I love that you said that. So it would absolutely be boring if you did it alone. And I agree, a date isn't the right place to do it either. But it's totally fun if you did it with a group of people and you made it as part of a bigger experience where you were drinking and you were doing fun activities. And so what I do is I make a list of all these crazy activities and things that I want to do in a city. And then the next thing I do is I look for my tribes. What I mean by tribes are, there are activities that you like doing, hobbies that you like doing, things that you like doing that most people don't necessarily share with you. So give me some examples of some things that you love doing.
For me, mountain biking, boating, kayaking.
I love it.
Stand-up paddleboarding.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All these activities already have people that have organized groups that want to do those things. That's your tribe. They are the people that naturally like the same things that you do. My tribe is completely different to your tribe, by the way. You'll never catch me mountain biking or actually kayaking's not so bad, but some of the others not so much. But it's really cool because it shows you that when you go to a city, your tribe is different to mine. The first thing I do is I get connected with my tribe. I join every meetup group, every event, anything I can with those things. And what I'll do is I'll apportion a certain amount of my time. So I'll be like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm gonna go out in the evenings to meet with my tribes, and Saturdays, I'm gonna do it. The rest of my time is for work or for friends or for whatever it is else that I wanna do. But these times I will be busy every single week going out, meeting the tribe. Yeah. During that's where I'm gonna meet the people to potentially date. I'm gonna build up my social network. I'm gonna be networking, and I've got all the benefit that my natural tribe will bring. But what I'm gonna bring to them is the ability to go somewhere else. So when I start connecting with people and I've got like my new friend group forming, I'll be like, hey, I've always wanted to do this tourist thing that you guys have in your city. Have you ever done it? And most of the time they'll be like, I've never done it. I've always thought it looked kind of cool, but I've never really tried it. And they'll be like, well, would you like to go and do it? So for example, in Austin, we have the Botanical Gardens, and they have like a Japanese Zen garden there. And it's the kind of thing where I'd be like, I've always wanted to go and take pictures there for Instagram. You guys want to go and do that? It'd be fun. We get some drinks, we'll go down there. And you start getting used to organizing things. And the goal is to go from being the outsider to the organizer. So now you've joined 4 or 5 different groups or tribes. During those tribes, you've connected with the people that you get on with best. And now you're inviting them to join you on an activity that you organize as the organizer. And we go from you being a part of 5 or 6 different tribes to you now controlling a tribe, and your tribe revolves around one thing, you. You've pulled the best people from the different groups that you get on with, and now you've got your social network. From that, you can now go kayaking with all of them, or you can go paddleboarding with all of them. You don't need to join the meetup group anymore. You've got your own group of friends, and you've pulled them from that core group, and now you've created a subgroup. And your group now goes around and does things with you as the leader. And this whole process takes about 6 weeks. And by the time you finish it, you've got your own network in a town, and everyone looks up to you.
I like it.
Yep, makes sense?
Yeah.
Cool. That's it. Any other questions? It's pretty simple, that one.
Well, is there any more leverageability that you can think of for that?
What would you want to do with it? Because I mean, you can do anything with this. Let's continue on a bit and go a bit deeper. So let's just say now let's say you've got 5 groups, and out of each group you've pulled 3 people. You've now got a group of 15 friends. All of them are people that you'd naturally be attracted to. All of them are people that want to spend time with you and hang out with you. You can meet their friends and date them. You can take that group and go on vacation together. You can decide to go to Colorado and rent out a ski lodge and go skiing. I mean, it's really a powerful tool. You're no longer a stranger in a new city, and you've done this within a period of 6 weeks. So yeah, I mean, it really is the sky is the limit, right? The only thing that you could potentially do that would be bigger than that would be to continue to grow that group. So for example, I had a student did a very similar thing. He pulled together his tribe, but he also wanted to organize charity events. So we guided him through starting his own charity, organizing charity events, inviting all of the people from his core friend group to start building up that charity event. And then the charity itself started gaining weight, which started having other people come and join the charity to support that. The next thing you know, he's organizing an event with 200 people on the lakes in Austin, and he's surrounded by all these beautiful people, influential people like the person that created Deep Eddies and all these other things, all because he put this group together from this small tribe.
I like it. So creating a charity, a cause, a purpose.
Yeah, and taking that core group and moving them into it. So what happens is human beings, you ever seen the social proof experiment where if one person stares at the ceiling and then everyone starts staring at the ceiling?
I've seen something like that.
Yeah, and people come by and they're like, what's going on? Right? Because people get curious about what everyone else is doing. So the goal is for you to start that initial wave of people around you, and for you to be the hub, for you to be organizing the events on a regular basis. So everybody starts revolving around you. That's the key. And then whatever you decide to put focus on is what everybody else does. So a good example is I used to live in LA and I came to Austin. Now almost all of my friends that I've worked with from all over America are moving to Austin to live here. Because in the same way, I met them through different tribes. And every single person that I met, I was like, you should come to Austin, you should come to Austin, you should come to Austin. And they'd be like, man, I'm flying to Austin so often, I should just move there. And then I'm like, here's a realtor. Like I said, I'm just like guiding them. And now I've built my community in Austin of people that like similar things to me, and I've built my own tribe. And now I can use that tribe to launch things, to go to places. Like I just, I've got a new business venture that I'm working on, but I know the minute I open that, I'll be able to put 50 people on the opening day of that new business simply because of the amount of friends that I've got in my core tribe.
Yeah. Love it. So kind of the charity. So, and looking even further out, like 5 years out, 10 years out, and also thinking, monetization, building businesses around it, helping people have awesome experiences that you can kind of like market, right? Kind of lifestyle style things.
It's all part of the same thing. The first thing you do is you find your tribes by joining the other groups. Then you get the people in there that you gel with the most to start coming with you to do activities that they've always wanted to do but never really experienced. Then once they get in the habit of hanging out with you for that, then you can just start leading them on new projects. Hey, I'm going to do this charity thing. Hey, let's do this venture. Hey, let's do this. And you've got that core group that come with you that gives you the social weight to make it successful. And then you use the traditional methods, right? That's when you use marketing, all these other techniques. But you've got that core group that is what you're using as social proof to get it going. Imagine, we have an event in town called the Internet Marketing Party, which, you're probably well aware of in Austin. The Internet Marketing Party, if it didn't have a core group of people already going to it, it might only have 12 people turning up. But because there's a core group, it always looks like a buzzing place. And that's the key. The key is knowing who the core group is and making sure you interact with them. So in your situation as a new person in town, you've got to build that core group. Who is in your group? You've got to join lots of little groups to find them. And it's cool because all your activities are things that people would typically like, and they'd probably have a lot in common. So once you get that group, it's easy. And you're going to meet, the person you're most likely to connect with on mountain biking will be someone who's interested in business. So they're the people you'll end up talking with. And you'll have a bunch of friends that like mountain biking and business, kayaking and business, paddleboarding and business. And that will be that core group.
Cool. I like it.
Any questions?
Anything that comes to mind for you, like maybe for me specifically, not that you really know me.
Sure.
But ways to, there's probably that initial hump, right? Getting the initial kind of momentum going. And then there's probably some like intricacies or maybe like leverage points, if you think like years out.
So I think one of the things that might be holding you back in this situation is and I see this a lot with students. You're so concerned with what the future might hold, and that can actually be a detriment. Because I find, and I was explaining this to a student the other day, it's much better to think of life like you're a ship, and you're the captain of the ship, and you can steer it. and you can choose a port that you want it to end up in. But you can't guarantee what the ocean's going to do between the two. And the ocean may decide to push you off course. It may decide to push you off course this way. It may decide to help you, or it may decide to hold you back the whole way. You can still guarantee to get to that port, but you can't guarantee the route or how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And in this situation, one of the things you're asking is what will be some of the complications I'll experience? And actually there's no way of knowing. What's going to happen is you will get unique complications that are impossible to predict. And when they happen, you're going to have to deal with them individually. However, having said that, having a core group of people as friends that support you is going to make that whole experience easier for you.
Yeah.
So that's why that goal, the first thing I do when I go to a new city is I find my tribe. So for me, I have 2 tribes and I find them instantly. I have people that like games and I have strippers. These 2 people are my tribe. So as soon as I go to a new city, I go straight to hang out at strip clubs and I go to gamers. Now you might think, what's the difference between people that play board games and strip clubs? That sounds like completely opposite, right?
I'd see sometimes, but for the most part, very, very different.
So actually, I find that most women that work in exotic dancing are actually quite nerdy. They don't work a regular 9 to 5, so they tend to have to look for unique activities outside of it. And I find that those unique activities often involve video games because people will be up late at night, or board games or comic books or movies. And those are the kind of people I connect with. So in gaming shops, I'll meet people that are like interested in business but also do gaming, and I know they're people I like enjoying hanging out with. And I also know that in strip clubs, I'm going to meet beautiful women who also like gaming, video games, movies, that kind of thing. So I'll connect with both these groups, and actually they're my people. So that gives me a group of beautiful women that I have a lot in common with, and a group of guys that I have a lot in common with. And then I tend to gravitate, or the cooler kind of like normal businessy type guys that they don't just devote their entire life to games, but they have a very successful life and they also like gaming on the side, tend to gravitate towards me, and the beautiful women. Now I'm in a new city, and within a couple of weeks, I've got these 2 groups of people, and then I'll start hanging out with both of them and pulling it together, and people will notice, wow, Adam's hanging out with all these really cool people that are really attractive and they're really into gaming. How has this happened? But it happens in every city I go to because I know my tribes. And then once I've got my tribe, I'll have my group of friends. And now I don't need my tribes anymore because I've got my own tribe that will be my own unique group of like 7 or 8 people. And that's my team.
Cool. So live in the moment, be aware of how tribes can kind of, work together.
Yeah, it's more about finding your tribes. Learn who they are and instantly go out and connect with them. Then once you're doing that, don't try and predict what's going to happen in the future. Just focus on hanging out with them on a regular basis. So I'll make a point to hang out with my tribe once a month or once a week, and it'll be on a consistent basis. I want to get in someone's diary, so they're like, oh, on Fridays I can't hang out because I'm hanging out with my friends. And that's how I get that group, and we'll all hang out at the same time in the same place.
Got it. And diary is English for calendar.
Bingo.
So, cool. All right.
Perfect. Hey,
Cool.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thanks so much. And again,